You see those hot air balloons ahead of us? Let's weave our way around them. Try not to hit them, though. You might have to turn a little harder to get around the next balloon. You didn't quite get around that one. Turn a little harder. One more. Let's see if you can get around this last balloon. Speed decreases as we climb, even with full throttle. Always throttle up to climb. Try not to climb too steeply, or we'll slow down too much and stall. Good job. We'll have to descend to get to the next balloon. See how our speed increases when we descend? Throttle back when descending. Nicely done. Let's put your new skills to use and make your first landing. Turn right and line up with the runway. Lower the landing gear as well. Throttle down to about 45% for our approach. Getting close. Throttle down to idle. Lift the nose, and let the aircraft settle onto the ground. Pretty nice landing for your first try. Great job on your first flight. I have something fun lined up for our next lesson.
You did a great job learning the basics. Listen, I got a special lesson lined up. Your first water landing, and a party. I need a ride out to a friend's wedding. It's out in the bay on a yacht. They've already set sail, so the only way to get out there is in the Icon.
Take a look around this cockpit. Simple, huh? Almost like a car. Now center your view. When you're ready, just push the throttle forward for takeoff. Now pull back smoothly on the stick to lift off the runway. Keep the throttle full. That was easy. Now we're flying. Go ahead and raise the landing gear. Okay, I'll raise the landing gear for you. Hear that beeping? That's the stall warning. Climb straight out to 500 feet. Lower the nose to gain speed. Good. Now throttle back to 5,500 RPM, or about 90%, and maintain this altitude. Now, turn to a heading of 340. You can see our heading change on the display on the top of the screen and on the GPS in the cockpit. All right, we're on course. Just keep flying at this heading and we should see the yacht along the coast. Why don't you check out the various other views while we have a little time? It's a great way to gain perspective. Free look allows you to easily look at your surroundings. Chase view gives a good sense of the flight path of the aircraft. In flyby view, you can watch your aircraft fly past. Top-down view is helpful for finding your way around an airport. Okay, enough looking around. Let's get to the yacht. If you want to save some time, activate the skip to waypoint command. It'll take us right to the yacht. You'll see this command in most missions, and you can use it at any time when a skip is active. Okay, now we just need to gently descend and slow down to 60 knots for the landing. Bring the throttle back to 25% or 2,500 RPM, and use the elevator controls to adjust your speed. Raise the nose to slow down or lower the nose to speed up. Try to land about 100 feet from the boat. Not too close. We don't want to hit it. We should be under 60 knots before touching down. Throttle back to idle and let the aircraft settle onto the water. Well, that was a little rough, but nice touchdown. Congratulations on your first water landing. I'm going to bring us in close so we can get on the yacht without getting wet.
Welcome to Microsoft Flight. Use flight tips and follow the highlighted icons to discover what Microsoft Flight has to offer. If you complete all the flight tips, you'll receive a new aircraft paint scheme. Missions are activities that allow pilots to test their abilities. New missions are displayed on the map, and completed missions can be accessed through the mission list. Aerocaches are objects hidden throughout the world of flight. The locations of some aerocaches can be difficult to find without internet research. Free flight is a great way to explore the world of flight and enjoy the scenery along the way. The job board is a list of work posted at a specific airport. In the hangar, you can access and switch your existing aircraft. The pilot profile screen displays your career stats to change conditions like time of day, season, date, or for a list explaining the symbols you see on the map. To view the remaining flight tips and get access to more content, expand your flight horizons with the entire Hawaiian Island chain. A starting point, with Microsoft Flight, you can explore the sky with friends and other players. You'll receive a new aircraft paint scheme once you complete all of the flight tips. Stearman? Let's do a quick walk around before we go. The Boeing PT-17 Stearman was used as a military trainer throughout World War II. After the war, thousands of surplus Stearmans were sold into the civilian market. Many of these were converted for use as crop dusters, a few of which are still operational around the islands. Others are in the hands of aircraft aficionados and airshow performers. The Stearman's great flying qualities, good looks, and open cockpit have made it a true classic. You ready to give it a go? Climb on up.
The tail will rise on its own, and a little up elevator will have us flying at around 60 knots. And we're off. Pitch to climb out at 80 miles per hour or about 70 knots. We'll climb straight out to 500 feet and then do a little sightseeing. 500 feet. Level out and maintain this altitude. Set the throttle for cruise at 85% or 22 inches on the manifold pressure. I'll pull the propeller back to 1900 RPM. I see a cruise ship coming into port. Let's make our way out there to get a better look. That's a big ship. Why don't you circle it to get a better view? Yeah, here's where the steerman really shines. It's a nice, docile airplane with an open cockpit that lets you really enjoy the scenery. Whoa, you got a little close. Hopefully we won't get in trouble for that. Now that we're over water, feel free to put the plane through its paces so you get a good feel for its flight characteristics. You'll see runway 03 to your left. Go ahead and start turning left to line us up for landing. Time for before landing check. Mixture to rich. Prop RPM to full. For the landing, our approach speed should be about 75 miles per hour or 65 knots. We're left of center line. It can be hard to see the runway over the nose on the approach. Some pilots make S-turns to keep the runway in sight, or you can just look over the edge of the cockpit. You're a little fast. Throttle back a bit. Hey, nice landing. In this short lesson, we'll go over the basics of landing a light aircraft. You want to fly this mission a few times. It takes practice to make a perfect approach and landing. We're flying the Icon A5 just south of Kona International. The runway here is huge, so it's hard to miss. It's actually built over a lava field. Okay, there are 3 keys to landing an airplane. Speed, speed, and you guessed it, speed. My instructor always told me, you've got to slow down to go down. You have the airplane. Go ahead and pull the throttle back to 45%, or about 3,800 RPM. Good. Let's lower the landing gear now as well. You see how the nose drops? Lift the nose up just enough for a shallow descent, and we'll start slowing down. Let me show you something. I'll handle the throttle for this part of the lesson. You just concentrate on flying the airplane. Since speed is the key to a good landing, pay close attention to our airspeed. We want to descend toward the runway at about 55 knots in this aircraft. So rather than using the throttle to adjust our speed, raise the nose to slow down or lower the nose to speed up. It might sound strange, but it'll really help you nail the landing. Go ahead and try it. We're a little fast, so raise the nose to slow down. Good job, we're right on speed. Okay, now that we're at 55 knots, make slight adjustments to maintain this airspeed. Okay, good job so far. You have control of the throttle again. You see See the lights on the left side of the runway? Those are called the PAPI lights. They let you know if you're on the glide slope to the runway. All red lights mean you're too low, and all white lights mean you're too high. If you see 2 white and 2 red, you're right on the glide slope. Not all airports have these lights, however. Some airports use a very similar system called the VASI. Right now it shows 4 white lights, so we're high on the approach. To adjust how high or low we are, use the throttle. Since we're a little high, go ahead and pull the power back a bit. We're looking for 2 white and 2 red lights. We're right where we need to be. Great job. Remember to put the throttle back after making adjustments. Okay, getting close. Try and make only minor adjustments. We're a little low. Add some throttle. Now that we're over the runway, pull the power back to idle and hold the nose up so the aircraft just settles onto the runway. Well, it'll take a little practice to make a good landing. Now gently brake until we've slowed down to about 10 knots. Okay, try it again. Practice makes perfect.